Welcome to
Here we
the
go.
LNPS first ever podcast. With me today, got Anton Starr, aka the Starman, Assistant Principal, Jonathan Lamb, legendary M6 teacher with the Year 2s, and Zoe Parry from F14, another legend with our Year 5s. How is everyone?
Oh, very good. I feel really comfortable like I've done this before.
Yeah, it's excellent, isn't it? Really, really good.
It does feel a little bit deja vu-ish, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, you got to lead us off there, Starman?
Yeah. Do you want to talk to us about how your team has developed the anchor charts over in Mellor?
Yeah, well, I think as a team we've been really collaborative in coming together during PLTs and everyone chipping in with an idea and, somebody will come on with an activity or something. And so once we've come back to, created our learner quality anchor chart, we'll go back to our own rooms, and that's where it comes a little bit more personalised to your class and your class's needs. Do
you feel like it's all come being part of like everyday learning now that the kids are now that it's done?
I think it has. I think a lot of the language is being used in class, and they're actually looking to it and saying it to each other. Like a few examples of somebody needs a pencil or somebody doesn't know what to do and they have to read the task. Other kids have started to say, hey, that's an everyday problem. What do you have to do? Go get a pencil, read the question.
Love that.
So that's it's kind of put it back onto them and not onto me as much, having to nag and, have you read the question? Have you read it? Hey, let's be resilient here. That's an everyday problem. Or, talking about the learning pit and, how we all have to be there. Them using that language takes a lot of the stress off of them, because they know that they have to kind of feel uncomfortable to then be learning. Because we talk about if you're not in the learning pit, you're not really learning. If you just jump over the top, you're not getting anywhere. You're not improving yourself.
Yeah, nice, John. Very good. Zoe, what about down here in the Fisher space? What's been happening there?
We've made ours in lots of different ways. So our collaborative one, we wrote lots of different questions regarding collaboration on pieces of paper, and we placed them around the room and put students in small groups, and they had about a minute or two to answer each question, which was really, really good. And then they moved around and kept answering. Once we had them all, we got them up the front and highlighted all the important or things that have been coming up lots, which was really, really excellent. So the students were using the language from what they wrote down as well as on the anchor charts really quickly, which was really good. And we, co-constructed them together. Another one we did with our resilience, I did some challenges which were unachievable with the kids. So draw a really detailed photo of this landscape. I'm going to show it to you for 10 seconds, and then you've got 30 seconds to draw it, whatever. And obviously they couldn't do it. It was unachievable, was really tricky. The kids were getting frustrated. At the end, we reflected, were we resilient, such and such? No, we weren't. Or how were you resilient? And then we went in that way and made our anchor chart from there. So things we wanted to see, things that were really tricky, all of those things. And that's how we made ours. But we noticed that the kids are using the language from the anchor charts. So it's been really excellent to see in our class, especially in our double space. The whole cohort uses the same language, which has been really good.
Yeah. Starman.
I was going to say, did you guys find yourselves going back to some of them more than others, depending on what's kind of happening in your class space at any given time?
Yeah. The collaboration one has been not the favourite, but one we use the most, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us it's really been the resilience one, and them kind of taking ownership of themselves and their own learning.
We had a lot of chat around that, wondering, what it would look like in each class space if it's similar in Mellor across the classes. Would you all be kind of having more of that repeated focus on resilience, or is Fisher looking at?
I think there might be a bit of a common
one
run through buildings, but it's really class by class as well, because the needs of my class will be even different to next door in M5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good point. There's that consistency, but it's contextualised
Yeah.
also to the class for your own needs. So, and we've just had another guest join us, Maddie Hicks
wow.
from down at F10, one of our Year 6 teachers.
Welcome, Maddie.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Welcome to the pod.
How are you going with the anchor charts in M6 across those 3 Year 6 classes, Mads?
Down in M6, it's going great. I think Jono just said, we're F10. It's going well. We're trying to do a lot of activities to build towards the anchor chart. Start off by doing a group activity. Prime 1, we did the spaghetti challenge for a collaborative activity. So they had to build the biggest tower with spaghetti. That was quite funny to watch, but they had to work in their teams. And then the students reflected upon that, and that helped build our anchor chart from their responses as well. So just putting them in situations to then kind of reflect and then build on. Let's create some class norms out of that as well.
Yeah, great. We've also got Erin Perkis joining us from R8 with
Hello.
the anchor
Welcome,
charts.
Erin.
Thanks for having me.
Probably starting right down with the reception kids, fresh for them, brand new. Do you even get to a point with the anchor charts where you've got to explain what an anchor chart is to the receptions?
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the first thing that we needed to talk about.
And
Doesn't make sense to them.
with your parents as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I think through our reflection journals, that's something that we've shared with families. And also when they've come in the classroom for goal setting conferences, that kind of thing, they always are looking at the anchor charts. I find that the kids like to go over and show them as well.
Another guest in, Michaela from down at T17 with some of
Hello,
our Year
hello.
Welcome.
3s.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
It's very fluid at the moment.
It
Everyone's
is.
coming in and out. Very good.
Michaela, anchor charts down with the Year 3s in T17.
Yeah, it's going great. I find I maybe refer to them a little bit more than some of the students do one-on-one. We have worked really hard on managing our mind and our body and managing our emotions. That one is very interesting down with some of the Year 3s, especially after recess and lunch. That one's been very helpful for us, especially with our T17 toolbox. We have a look at some strategies, how we can maintain managing our words, managing our bodies, managing our minds. And of course, we love a little good collaborative, positive interactions. That's always a great anchor chart to build with everyone. We do it really collaboratively. They're always co-constructed. We're in the process of our independent one at the moment, so we'll see how that goes.
Before we get on to that independent one, just welcome Jackie Bailey from F11, one of the Year 6 teachers. So how's that one going with the new independent one? Can you take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. We started by unpacking our Torrens anchor charts that the teachers have created. We had a look at what is the need in our classroom, where do we find we're lacking in being independent, what do we not understand the best. We have picked managing my time. That's a very interesting one, and we are starting the process of I put questions on a sheet, we chuck them around the room, they have to go around in groups and answer those questions. We come back and have a whole group discussion. We highlight the most important ones for us. I like to focus on feels like, sounds like, looks like, and then we
that's
create
great.
that toolbox together with some strategies. So we'll start doing that this week.
Yeah, excellent.
What's the class response been like once you've constructed these charts? Are you starting to see it kind of just happening
Yeah,
in
big
class?
time.
What's it sounding like?
It's really great with the positive interaction ones. We're hearing a lot more when we do work collaboratively as a group. They have different spelling groups. We do different little activities in maths with groups sometimes. So it's nice just hearing those positive words. Thank you, giving feedback. How do we do that positively? It's about being constructive. It's not, I just didn't like that, or you need to do better. It's that was great, and then a but, or then I would do this. So I'm hearing it a lot more. And it's a really good thing to see. I maybe foster it a little bit at the moment because it's quite fresh in our class. So I'm hoping that in the next coming weeks towards the end of the term, it's less me, more them.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, love it. Wonderful.
Jack, what's happening down in F11?
Well, I run the esports at the moment, so the kids have been using our independent organisation anchor chart to stay on top of due dates, write things in their diaries, and it's been helping them, stay organised and on top of everything.
Yeah, prize winner
successful.
there in the esports earlier this year.
Big prize winner, yes, they're very stoked about that. The kids were, they worked super hard and did something amazing.
Sigma Serpents.
Sigma
Sigma
Serpents.
Serpents, that's it. So recognised for all their hard work.
How is the other teams going at the moment with the Australian Open?
Yeah, look, hopefully we'll win the
Designs.
prize for that one as well, because that'll be
Solid
pretty cool.
prize.
Yeah, solid prize. Get to go to the Oz Open men's and women's final and trip to Melbourne. So, they're doing really well. We've just been given a month extension. So, they're looking on track to running it back, which is pretty exciting.
Going for a back-to-back Brisbane Lions style.
Well, we can hope. So,
Yeah, I'm assuming you'll be jetting
Well, we
over
can.
with the students, will you, Jack?
I have to.
Squeeze it in.
Might accompany me, Mr. Grimm.
See, wouldn't say no. So here we go. We've just had Natalie Brooke join us.
Thank you
Welcome,
for
Nat.
having me.
Yeah,
I'm a big podcast fan, so this is an exciting thing for me.
Teacher from down at T16, previously of M1, also our maths coach. So how's it going down? Tell us about those brand new receptions and what you might have touched on with some of the...
Those anchor charts are fantastic for the brand new receptions, learning their independence and their organisation. And instead of just, I guess, talking about the word, there's actual examples that they can connect with and respond to. And as a teacher, you find that you're repeating yourself less and less, or you're using the same language and it becomes common and the kids are like, oh yeah, now I get it. I understand that. Or you can just point to something. You can point to the anchor chart and say, so it's a real tool, it's a real resource. And I think from anywhere between reception and year 6, the kids, once they start using it as a resource, it's really powerful.
Yeah, like I said, that shift from abstract to concrete definitely helps the students a lot.
I was going to say, how did you get those students to engage in it initially? What did that process look like?
We haven't actually constructed a full anchor chart with those brand new receptions, but in terms of using the language and introducing some of the language and then putting that into action. So, for example, the first one we used was collaboration. In a learning context. And what does a collaboration look like? What do you need to be successful as a collaborator? Collaborator, I can't speak. We'll edit that one out.
I wonder if that cocktail cause some problems there.
I had a couple of pina coladas, yeah. And so actually putting it into action. But I guess the more simple anchor charts, for some of the receptions are around organisation and independence and having images, photos, 1 word or 2 words that really connect the learner quality with the actions and what the expectations are, what it looks like to actually be organised. What does it look like to be more independent? And at a reception level, it is I can pack my lunchbox in my bag and I can put it back after I finish with it. To more of a year 6 head frame would be I can access learning intentions and success criteria to help me produce a polished piece of work or something like that. So, yeah, they're extremes in terms of what it looks like for different age groups, but essentially an anchor chart works for all year levels and they're great. As I said before, it's a great resource. It's a great tool.
Yeah. Thanks. Now I can tell you there'll be no chopping out because all of my mistakes, we won't be able to chop it all out.
Oh, that makes too many mistakes.
And we also welcome Miss Rachel from F15, one of our Year 5 teachers. How are you today, Rach?
Welcome.
Yeah, great. How are you?
Good.
Good.
You want to talk to us about anchor charts, Rach?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Zoe touched on it a little bit. Was there anything else that might have gotten missed or that you could talk to us about? And we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so Zoe and I teach together in Year 5, so we have a double space together. So what was really important for us with our anchor charts was making sure that the kids' voices were in those, so them coming up and writing their own ideas and keeping the language how they expressed it so that they actually go and use it and they understand it as well was really important. And then we also incorporated what Jono did with the younger kids, having the everyday problems. So we've just made that one up as well. So, it's been cool to see across the school that we're doing similar things, just with different problems. And that'll be good for the kids coming up as well, knowing what's going on in different year levels.
Do you feel like they've been taking more ownership of their learning with the use of these? Yeah,
definitely throughout the year, and even just having the conversations around it while making the anchor chart as well. They're thinking about it then too, so that's been good.
Excellent. Yeah, so I really like the student voice component as well, making sure the language that the students are using is reflected on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they really connect back to that, and I think that's that authentic learner agency that we're looking for, and they've got ownership of it. So, Yeah, just had Miss Amy join us as well, another one of our Year 6 teachers from down in
Welcome.
F12.
F12. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Anchor charts down in your space?
Down on my space, pretty similar to what Jack and Mads were saying earlier, kind of putting through our seniors through some kind of experience where they can, I guess, we can activate their prior knowledge in relation to the learner qualities and then get their point of view on it when constructing it with them. I know that in F12 they loved coming up to the board and actually writing on the anchor chart itself, so it wasn't really me writing it for them. It was kind of we're having a discussion and they would go, oh, I think we need to add this. That's a great idea that such and such has said, or I'm not sure about that. Why don't we try this instead? So it's really getting them involved in that process and I guess them having their own opportunity to add their own examples and personal connections to it. And then putting that on display, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks, Miss Amy. And we've just had Miss Mariana, our deputy, join us.
Hello.
She does love a podcast.
I do love a podcast. I also
mic
love
is
a
up?
microphone,
Yes,
so that's always
definitely
helpful.
Indeed. So
It's been really great hearing, how the implementation of anchor charts to support the work around student agency and I guess the learner quality side of it, especially now that it's come up in the South Australian curriculum and we use it so well with our students. I guess for me, I want to pose a question of how have we used it with our families? Where have the anchor charts played a role in that and have there been successes in that space or any feedback?
and if we have it, maybe it's a space for us to start to investigate and do some work with.
Yeah, definitely, because we see it as a strategy. We see it as we've heard, the voices of our staff talk about it. It's now it's got powerful, I guess it's a powerful anchor to start those conversations with the families as well.
Yeah, really good point. And joining us, Mr. Clayton, T18.
Hello.
Great to have you.
Actually, wouldn't mind posing that question to Trent, if there was a way that you have engaged families with the anchor charts that you and your students have co-constructed?
Not at this stage. I guess it's something we could do moving forward, but we've really tried to use it as making sure the kids understand what our learner qualities are and what we're looking for in each lesson. So we've been putting the anchor charts at the beginning of every of our slides and really pulling apart which ones we want to use. We've spent a lot of time doing independent, so making sure that they know what they're doing, understand the learning intentions and success criteria. And, they're starting to incorporate that into their student-led lessons that they're going to present this week.
Oh, tell us a bit more about those, Trent, the student-led lessons.
So it gives the kids some small groups, an opportunity to teach the rest of the class something that they want to do in a 40-minute lesson. So they've had to come up with their own learning intentions and success criteria.
Nice.
They've had to plan what they're going to do at the beginning, middle and end, how they're going to reflect. They need to get all their resources together as well. And, I think Tuesday they start. So we'll have...
Might need to come see this in action.
I know,
Yeah,
definitely. A lot of
definitely.
learner qualities being on display there. Something we witnessed with our staff just earlier as well, around collaboration, being innovative and resilient in that space too.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you, Trent.
Well, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, and now we welcome Miss Ray. She's also coming in down T19, going to put some value add in for us. What are you going to touch on, Miss Ray?
Hi, guys. I thought I'd just talk about what the question that Miss Mariana just posed.
Just refresh my memory. Which one was that?
Just about how we're sharing our anchor charts with families at home.
Ah, yes.
Probably the biggest way that we've been doing that this year is through our goal-setting conferences.
Yeah, nice.
They were a fantastic resource to have out while we were talking about the learning goal.
So you'd actually have the anchor chart there.
Yeah, absolutely. And having them handwritten and also aligned with the posters that we had. I had a parent say, can I take these home? These are great, because some of those life skills, especially around independence and resilience, was going to support some of those conversations that we're having and maybe filling some gaps at home.
Yeah, not.
So that was, and it also was a really good way to guide conversations with families.
And what was the family's feedback? Some of the parents' feedback, were they into them as well?
Yeah, for some, I think having so many posters initially was quite overwhelming. But for others, they were thinking, oh, wow, this is really great language to be using. It's quite sophisticated. Is this how you actually talk to students at school? And it was really great to hear even some of our perhaps quieter students really sort of arc up and say, yeah, this is what we do and this is how we speak.
Owning it.
And, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's great. Mr. Jace just jumped back in again.
Well, Alicia brought up a great point. So I did exactly the same thing as you. I had the anchor charts out on the table, and because there was only a few to choose from in that first semester, explain them, told the story of how we created them and how we got there as a class. And I think that was really helpful for the parent to see how useful it is with their learning, and then hearing the parents say, oh yeah, we can talk about that at home, or we could, their goals linked to home life as well. And parents taking photos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say that was really good for M6 as well.
Yeah, great.
It's powerful, isn't it? I'm just thinking back to when, here's a shout out, Byron Binky, when he was in reception. I was walking behind him at Henley.
Wild Byron.
I can't remember whoever had him here in reception, but I was walking behind him and he was talking about not these specific things, but similar things that were happening in class. And the parents were so supportive. They were, right on track with whatever the language that was being used in class. And I was like, oh, yes. I was like, he didn't know I was there, but I was listening in and it was great. And it would have been, similar story now if they're using that language at home with these anchor charts, similar things. So, yeah it does happen.
Excellent. So, team, great conversation from staff there around the work they've been doing with anchor charts this year, from reception right up to year 6. So, Smiriana, Anton, what are your thoughts on?
Definitely. I guess for me, it's just to acknowledge the hard work that teachers have done in regards to developing those shared understandings, not just in their teams, not in the R6 professional learning teams as well, but with their kids around what each of those learning qualities actually means, what does success look like for their learners in the classroom, while they're working PLTs first to, I guess, develop an anchor chart themselves. So, as an example, us three sitting there and going, okay, well, what is a resilient learner? What do they think? What do they say? What do they do? What's it going to look like in the classroom? It is different in every single classroom because of the kids that they have. So that was a massive highlight for me, that we've seen consistency not just in the language use, but also the practices from reception to year 6 in that process. And that's a credit to them.
Yeah, really exciting. Lots of work been invested in that to get to that point. Starling?
I totally agree. It was a great highlight. I think just listening to how they all went about it, their consistency from building it at their PLTs and then implementing it in class was great. Going through and doing walkthroughs, you can hear the kids talking about it. And I just love the honesty from everyone and the transparency, how they went about it, what worked, what didn't quite work, and they reflected really well on some next steps they could do for next time.
Yeah, definitely. Any next steps we're possibly taking away from what we've just heard there for work we're going to do into 2026? I was thinking around the anchor charts with families, expanding that further.
That was a huge highlight that Alicia mentioned around using it in goal setting conferences, and kids in particular now knowing, this is something to do with my goals. So there's the anchor chart on independently learning and what the strategies are from that. They can take one away and then implement it themselves. I think it's also, we don't always have to introduce something new. I think the feedback from staff in general has been around, let's keep doing what's working, and I think we need to. And I think that development of the anchor charts has been a real strength, and staff are seeing the impact it's having on student learning outcomes as well as how they regulate and manage themselves. I think that's definitely for me what stood out as something we continue doing and strengthen as a practice, possibly in other areas as well, like as a strategy. But I think I'm really intrigued to see where we go with now in regards to the reflection and the goal setting side of it, you know, embedding those anchor charts a little bit more, having a bit more clarity for the kids, and being a bit more visible in that space. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm really interested in the work we're going to do around with the parents with those anchor charts. I think there's a lot we can do with that and expanding on it, and some further work on what's the next steps with our anchor charts. Where do they go to next? It's the first year we've really worked on that, and teachers are going to have learned a lot from it. Students are going to have learned a lot from it. And how does that look next year? How do they evolve? And how do we go deeper inside of the anchor charts? So,
yeah, it's only going to be more powerful the longer we are on this journey with it. And I think it's a great talking point for families, especially at conferences. It's there for them to see. And when my last year in class, we did some similar things, and when it's on the wall, we had writing sentences and structures on the wall, and the kids are going and looking at it and they're referencing it. And kids are doing this with these anchor charts. They're going back to it, they're looking at it.
really good. So, well, just to finish off, I want to thank all of our teachers for coming on and taking a bit of a risk there and sharing where they're
very
at.
brave.
I think they're all fans of the podcast.
Yeah, I think we're going to have some more podcasts coming along soon. So, and hope everyone else enjoyed it. Thanks, Anton.
Thanks for joining us for our first lesson episode. Yeah, cut that.
We need to sign out.
Yeah, you're going to sign out. We need a